I kept you close enough to feel your energy, but far enough to never let you touch my soul. You called it friendship. I called it survival. The way you looked at me reminded me of how I look at someone I can never have. Well, that's not what this is about. This is about why women like me need men like you, but will never choose you. I'm going to show you the 5 emotional truths that most women will never admit. 5 reasons why we keep you close, while keeping our hearts distant. By the end of this, you'll understand what we're really protecting, and why friendship with you feels safer than love. Reason number 1. You made me feel seen without requiring me to be available. When I was with you, I could exist in my truth, even the parts of me that other people wouldn't understand. I could tell you about my fears, my dreams, the way I see the world, but I never had to explain why I saved my heart for someone different. I text you at 10:47 p.m. Can't sleep, mind racing. You respond in 93 seconds. Want me to call? We talk for 2 hours and 26 minutes. I tell you about work, about my family, about everything except the real reason I can't sleep. The real reason has nothing to do with you, and everything to do with someone you'll never be. When you say I care about you so much, my chest feels like it's collapsing. I can't breathe properly for 3 minutes. I have to excuse myself to the bathroom for 7 minutes just to stop my hands from shaking. Because I know what you mean, and I know what I can never give back. Here's what was happening in my heart. I needed your energy like oxygen, but I was saving my soul for hands that would never be yours. But here's where I started using you in ways I'm not proud of. Reason number 2. You were my mirror when I couldn't see myself clearly, but I was looking for a reflection you could never give me. I needed to know I was still magnetic, still worth pursuing, still magic. But I needed to know it from the safety of unavailability. Day 7, I save every text where you call me beautiful. 17 messages total. Day 12, I screenshot the moment you're typing, then delete your message before reading it. I want to know you're thinking about me without knowing what you're thinking. Day 18, I time your response patterns with a stopwatch app. 43 seconds means you want to say more. 2 minutes means you're conflicted. Over 5 minutes means you're choosing your words carefully. This triggers something called validation dependency. But here's what I was really doing. I was practicing being desired for someone else. I remember the exact moment I realized I was using you as a rehearsal. It was a Thursday. I wore that black dress you said looked incredible on me. But I wasn't wearing it for you. I was wearing it because I had a date that night with someone whose eyes I actually wanted to get lost in. You complimented me for 6 minutes straight. Made me feel radiant, powerful, worthy. And 3 hours later, I carried that confidence into a restaurant where I finally felt myself. I was using your adoration as fuel for someone else's fire. Not maliciously, desperately, because I needed to know I was lovable before I could risk loving who I actually wanted. If you're watching this because you recognize yourself in this story, hit that subscribe button, because what comes next will change everything you think you know about women like me. But then my double life became impossible to maintain. Reason number 3, I was terrified of losing your attention, but equally terrified of you discovering my truth. There's a part of me that you'll never understand, that no man could. But I needed you to love the parts of me that were safe to love. You text me, "Want to grab dinner Friday?" My heart stops, not from excitement, from panic. Because Friday is the day I usually, but I can't tell you that. I want to say yes because I love our conversations, but I need to say no because I'm protecting something you can't know. I text back, "Rain check? Plans with my roommate." It's not technically a lie, but it's not the whole truth either. Day 22. I practice conversations with you in my mirror for 11 minutes before you pick up the phone. Day 29, I delete and rewrite the same text message 8 times because I can't find words that tell you enough without telling you everything. Day 35, I catch myself almost saying their name when you ask about my weekend plans. I have to fake a coughing fit for 12 seconds to cover it up. The most brutal part? I knew exactly what I was doing. I was giving you access to my mind, but not my heart. I was letting you know my thoughts, but not my desires. I was sharing my world with you while living in a completely different one. But the real reason I couldn't let you go was something darker. Reason number 4, you were my safe space for practicing intimacy without the risk of actually being intimate. I wasn't keeping you as a backup plan for love. I was keeping you as a practice ground for feelings I could never risk with someone who actually mattered. It's 11:51 p.m. I just got home from a date that went differently than I expected. My hands are shaking. My mind is racing. I don't know how to process what I'm feeling. I text you, weird night. Need to decompress with someone who gets me. Within 8 minutes, you're calling me. For the next hour and 43 minutes, I tell you everything, except what it actually meant. Psychology calls this emotional displacement. But here's the deeper reality. I was using our friendship as a safe space to process feelings I couldn't risk ruining with the person who actually triggered them. When I told you about my confusing date, I wasn't talking about a man. I was talking about someone who made me feel things I'd never felt before. But I couldn't say that. So I let you think it was about someone like you. And I let you comfort me about feelings that had nothing to do with your world. Month 1, I call you when I'm confused about someone else. Month 3, I use your emotional support to process feelings you could never understand. Month 6, I've built an entire friendship on half-truths and hidden realities. Write me in the comments if you've ever wondered why she could share everything except the truth. Because the final reason is the one that still haunts me. And here's the part that still breaks my heart. Reason number 5. Deep down, I knew you deserved the whole truth. And that terrified me more than losing you. I could see your hope in your eyes, how much you cared, how much you wanted. And I knew I was protecting something that would break your heart. You're telling me about your future, your dreams, what you want in life. Your voice is warm, hopeful, real. You mentioned wanting to find the right person someday. I watch you talking about love, about partnership, about forever, and I think, you're gonna make someone so happy someday. But that someone lives in a world I can never invite you into. Day 47, I spend 3 hours deciding whether to tell you about the person I've been seeing. Day 52, I almost say they instead of someone when talking about my weekend plans. I cover it by coughing for 12 seconds. Day 58, I realize I've been lying to you for 2 months. Not about big things, about everything. The most honest thing I can tell you, I kept you close because I was a coward. I was a woman living in 2 worlds, one where I could be loved safely, and one where I could love dangerously. You lived in the first world. My heart lived in the second. Year 1, I tell myself, this is just complicated friendship. Year 2, I start to suspect I'm living a double life. Year 3, I know I'm protecting a truth that would change everything. And here's the truth I'm still learning to speak. Now you understand what I was really protecting. It wasn't my heart I was keeping from you, it was my truth. I needed your friendship to feel normal in a world that didn't understand me. I needed your acceptance to practice being myself with someone who was safe. I needed your energy to survive while I figured out who I really was. Here's what I could never tell you. I care about you more than you know. But I can never love you the way you want. Not because you're not enough, but because I'm not what you think I am. Some women need your energy because we're conserving our hearts for love that looks different. We're not playing games. We're not confused. We're just living between worlds. And friendship with you is the bridge. Do I regret it? That's a question I'm still learning to answer. Do I miss you? Every day. Do I wish I could have been braver? That's something I may never know. Psychology research shows that women often compartmentalize emotional needs in ways men don't expect. What feels like rejection to you might actually be protection. But protection of what? That's a mystery I'm still unraveling. If you're currently loving a woman who says, "just friends," maybe she's not rejecting your love. Maybe she's protecting a truth she's not ready to share. Or maybe she's protecting a truth she's not ready to face herself. If you want to understand more about what women like me are really thinking, my next video reveals another truth we'll never tell you directly. Watch it now!